Welcome back to the WMMA Today podcast with Drake Riggs in his nice Packers uniform, his jersey, and with me, Steve K underscore MMA. As you can see, I'm Steve. On today's episode, we will be talking about the Invicta 42 recap, which turned out fabulous. And then we'll talk about the UFC Vegas 11 recap, which was awesome. And then we have one fight news, one news.
It's been a slow week.
UFC 253 preview with one fight, and then a RIZIN 24 preview with one fight. All right, so let's get on with the show, and we'll start off with the Invicta 42 recap, where Alicia Zappitella beat Ashley Cummins with the Von Flu choke. What a beautiful ending to a really good fight that was.
A surprising ending, to say the least. Nobody ever predicts a
No
Von
surprise.
Flu.
I didn't think Von Flu.
No one predicts a Von Flu unless it's an OSP or Murata fights, and
Right.
this was neither. That was something. I was
That was something beautiful.
impressed by, Zappitella. It was kind of a small comeback. She lost the first two rounds, I thought, pretty clearly. I mean, got stunned on the feet by Cummins in, I think it was the first round, late in the first round, or it might have been the second round. Either way, got caught by a straight, stiff right. And, buckled her legs a little bit. Cummins, looked good in the striking. And it was it's still, I feel like we saw that, what Zappitella's best at and, where her weaknesses remain. Didn't really learn anything more about her besides the fact that she was able to rally on this big moment and, really pull off one hell of a submission against somebody that is as experienced as Cummins is.
And much larger.
Yeah, I mean, that's most people against Zappitella. So, it was impressive in that regard that she was able to. I mean, in the third round is when she came back and controlled that one well, and then in the second round, quickly, what was it? It wasn't under a minute, was it? No, it was 120. Very, very close.
Quick.
Just crazy that she was, she didn't stall or anything. I mean, that was wise. She probably knew that she was down two by the scorecards this time around, like last time, but not a chance to coast, and wisely did not do that. Found the Von Flu when Cummins held on to a guillotine position and cost her. So super bummer for Cummins, but man, it's a good moment for Zappitella, obviously.
Yeah, no, I mean, like you said, she was down. She was down in the cards. Cummins definitely was up at least one round. I gave her, I think, 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think. I'm pretty sure I did. Zappitella won round 3, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, she ended up finishing Cummins in the fourth round. But she used her wrestling. She's phenomenal. She's a phenomenal wrestler. She looked great. Her wrestling was on point, and I mean, when has it ever not been on point? She's just a really, really good wrestler. And in MMA, if you got that wrestling down, as we've seen with like Tatiana Suarez, it takes you to championships. Every time we talk about Tatiana Suarez, we say she could win a title because of her wrestling. It's because of her wrestling. Alicia Zappitella, it was because of her wrestling. Did we see her winning by Von Flu choke? Absolutely not. But she did, and I mean, even she was surprised by it. Her the way that she fights, it's like it's she's so scrappy and fun to watch. She obviously has things that she can work on. Any fighter has things they can work on. She has holes. I mean, she knows that. She knows where her holes are. And she's not a striker. She's a wrestler. And then once she goes to the ground, it's really hard for her opponent to get back up. Very difficult. As little and as tiny as she is, it's very hard to get back up. And that's what a true wrestler does. Makes it hard for their opponents to move. And that's what she does. It's amazing. It's pretty fucking awesome, to be honest. Seeing this tiny little package on top of a girl so that looks so much larger than her. It was like there was a whole weight class in between the two. It looked like when they were facing each other, striking, when they were striking, Cummins looked massive compared to Zappitella.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I think that Cummins has fought at strawweight before, but either way, it's like I was saying, we know that Zappitella is generally the undersized one.
Yeah.
So
And she can't help that. I mean, what is she? Well, that's who she is. She's little.
4'11", yeah.
Yeah, she's tiny. She's a tiny girl. Like, not a girl. She's a woman, but she's tiny. Just very small. She's a small package.
Yep, half pint for a reason. That's the
Yeah,
nickname.
I mean, she has that nickname for a reason, and I mean, she delivered half pint Von Flu choke, which was amazing. It was badass.
Yeah, a hell of a way to win the title, that's for sure. So
Man, Invicta has a new champion, a new atomweight champion. It's gonna be hard to beat her, I think. But the atomweight division is really good. So
yeah, definitely. And I mean, once things with the borders open up again and everything, we
yeah,
could see some more of that cross promotion. Who wouldn't want to see Alicia going against some of the very best that there are out there, get her in that mix.
yeah.
I mean, we already saw her take on Kana, which was a good fight. Kana Asakura. So sure she would love to rematch that one, especially.
Yeah, I'm assuming that she would want that rematch, and if she got that rematch, man, it would be different because I mean now she's the champion. She's had a couple fights since then.
I think
Things
the
change.
biggest difference in that rematch would be the fact that she went through the first fight and it seemed like she wasn't fully aware of how the fights were scored, like not as a whole, because she like we said, I think we talked about it last week, just the fact that we've seen her coast a little bit in the past before,
Yeah,
and in that fight she, if you were to score it by the unified rules right in America, then she won the first two rounds, and then Kana won the third round. That was pretty clear. But that third round was very dominant for Kana, and it ended up winning her the fight. Like it was that thing where as the fight was playing out, you're like, oh boy, let's see if if Alicia, if she well, what's the word I'm looking for here? If she kind of screws herself over by not was taking her foot off the gas pedal here in the third round, just because she's used to fighting in round by round scored fights, and that's what happened. So I
yeah,
think that she would know not to do that.
I
Hopefully,
think so. I mean,
in a
I would
rematch.
assume that you know MMA brings learning lessons. We see learning lessons all the time for fighters, and then they turn it around. I think she would probably have learned from that, and then also the fight before this against Lindsey Van Zant.
Hmm.
She was very well aware of the scorecard thing.
Yep.
I mean, she said it herself.
Yeah.
That
Right after the fight. Yeah.
yeah. So I think that she's in tune with shit that's going on. Um, but she's really it's gonna be difficult for her to beat her.
Yeah. I mean, just as she continues to improve and whatnot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's getting better and better.
And, just touching on that, we can skip around. I want to skip around just because of, continuing with that storyline and of what might be next. I mean, if we look at the Del Boni and Tiburcio fight that happened right before the co-main here, apparently, Del Boni wants to go back down to atomweight.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, if that's the case, I guess it'd be fine to give her, the title shot next, even though this was a strawweight fight. I mean, she beat the former atomweight champion in
Yeah.
Tiburcio, who looked a little rusty, if we're going to be honest. Was
He
kind of
picked it up
getting
in the third round.
yes, as it went on. Yeah,
She definitely shook off rust. She was. I know Dom Cruz says, ring rust ain't
doesn't
real.
exist for him.
Yeah, it's definitely a real thing. I mean, you can see it. She's been out for a while, and she did not look. She wasn't as active as she was. She was highly active in her fights prior to being out of these, prior to being out, because she had a child. She was highly active when she was a champion. She active. I'm talking about active in the ring, in the cage.
Mm-hmm.
She was really active in
like her style.
She was nonstop, and exciting. We didn't see that excitement until we saw a glimpse of it, a glimpse of it in the third round. I wish that we would have seen it. And Julie Kedzie and Laura Senko were saying the exact same thing during the show. They were like, "Oh man, I wish that she would just pick it up a little bit." And we just never saw it until the very end, unfortunately.
Yeah, like right when she started to get comfy and back in, the feeling of, oh damn, we're really, fighting, going the distance more, just time.
I mean, and she wasn't losing like terribly. She wasn't like she
it was clear, but she wasn't getting like destroyed or anything.
It was definitely clear, but she wasn't getting like pieced up or nothing like that. She was in the fight all the way up until the end.
Yeah, Del Boni pretty much just like out fought her, if that makes sense. I mean, I don't want to say outpointed, but she was landing better and more effective with everywhere the fight went and all that. I mean, it was a good win for Del Boni, no doubt. But yeah, it's like obviously the big story is, well, how would this have looked if Tiburcio was still active and all that and not up a weight class, that kind of stuff. So it would be I would be down to see a rematch some point at atomweight after Tiburcio really gets going again. That would be a lot more. That would be very interesting as well. But yeah, good one for Del Boni, who we knew was legit after beating Lindsey Van Zant.
She's definitely legit.
So,
but she has how many losses now? 2?
Del Boni or Tiburcio?
Tiburcio
drops.
No, Del Boni. No, Del Boni.
Del Boni, 2 losses.
2 losses in what? She's 26, 27, 20. She's 27.
Okay.
27, 2 losses. Her 2 losses, Ashley Cummins, who we saw, and then at Shudo Brazil 97, she lost. She got knocked out.
Yeah, that was a strawweight fight.
Oh yeah, that was a strawweight fight.
And who'd she lose to? Did you just say? And I didn't hear it.
Julia Polostri.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's somebody to watch. I don't know much about her, but that's someone to watch if she can knock out Del Boni. Strawweights for you.
Yeah, she can knock out Del Boni. Came in the second round.
Yeah. So that was a good win there. And man, I am fucking bummed I haven't got to go back and watch it yet, but my stream and internet was all terrible for the co-main. So I really missed like fucking mostly all of it. I saw pretty much just glimpses of like the last minute of like round 1 and round 2. But from there, it looked like Canuto was pressuring and putting the pace, controlling the pace a bit. But Lisa was kind of landing better, regardless of her coming forward. Was that the story of it? You tell me about this one.
Yeah, no, it definitely Raquel was she was definitely putting the pressure on Rozosa, but Rozosa was getting her shots off, and that's why she ended up winning the fight. Was because she was landing, and I mean Rozosa, or I keep wanting to call her Paula Louie.
I know.
Canuto. I'm gonna have to get used to that name. Canuto. She was kind of she looked good. Like the first round she was kind of that rust from being out for a while, but then she poured it on herself. She was active the whole fight. She was never out of it, much like Tiburcio. We didn't see that we didn't see that the high activeness though from Tiburcio, like what we saw from Canuto. Unfortunately for Tiburcio, a former champion too. That's unfortunate that she wasn't that she wasn't highly active like what we're used to seeing from her. But Raquel looked good. Rozosa looked great.
Yeah. And I mean, if we're going to do the comparisons there, I think that there are more factors for, Tiburcio obviously, became a mom and then went up a division, whereas Raquel, I think, just took time off. I don't think she became a mom
got
either.
Yeah,
got married. But, didn't change weight classes or anything like that. So, yeah, that makes a little bit of sense there. But obviously, Tiburcio historically has been the better fighter if we're going to compare there. And one judge actually thought that Canuto won this. So, I mean, is that silly? I mean,
I wouldn't have given Canuto the win. No, I don't see how. But I mean, MMA judges are gonna MMA judge. Whatever. It's whatever.
Especially those Missouri, Kansas ones.
The right yeah, exactly. The right person won this fight. Yeah. It probably would have been crappy for Versosa if she would have lost the fight. Like that would have been like, what the fuck? She was probably like, how did I lose the fight by one judge, But she's too nice. She's too nice to fucking call.
She is incredibly nice, yeah.
Call anything out. She doesn't want to call anybody out. She just wants to fight. It's crazy. It's pretty crazy actually. Like she just wants to fight.
Kind of a shy person, yeah.
But then she's quiet. And then she's like quiet. Like you don't hear anything from her at all. Yep. It's weird. She's a fighter. I mean, that's what she does. That's what she loves doing. You could tell, too, that she loves fighting.
Battle Angel. Angel. And then we had Leonardo Tracy, which was another interesting one in terms of scoring. Yeah. I thought it was a fun fight. I know that some people thought Tracy won, and man, it was pretty fucking close, I thought. I think it came down to the third round. And man, just slightly edged it to Leonardo. Kind of the same story where Liz was putting the pressure on, as she generally does, but Leonardo was just kind of connecting a bit better. But man, it was still really close. Liz was having her moments late in that third round too, but I don't know. It was close. I do think Leonardo got the win rightfully, but it was a close one, man. It was very close.
It was a good fight. It was
as always with those two.
Yeah, it was an entertaining fight for sure. But I do think that Leonardo won the fight. I think she was getting her shots off more kind of like Versosa, just getting her significant strikes off a little bit more than Tracy.
Yeah. Yep, definitely fair to say there. That was a good one for the second fight. And, of course, we kicked off the night with not a surprising outcome at all. Poor Jennifer Chang had really nothing for Helen Peralta, despite the short notice.
Peralta could have ended the fight had she had maybe 5 more seconds in that. Was it the first or the second round? Where she was pouring it on the second round, where she was pouring it on Chang on the ground and pound.
Mm-hmm.
Chang was beat up after that round and after the fight. I mean, Chang looked. She was beat up. Peralta looked good. I mean, but it's pretty crazy what she had to go through to get to that fight, though. She ended up 24 hours. She ended up finding out 24 hours. She went from Iowa or Idaho, one of them, to Missouri, and she ended up having her weight cut in the car on her way to the fight. And then she ended up winning the fight. That's beast. That's beast mode. Who the fuck does that? Helen Peralta. Exactly. Helen Peralta does that. That's who does that shit. Fucking props to that girl.
Yeah, and just went out there and controlled from right at the beginning, pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
And interestingly, though, we said that we really didn't know who Jennifer Chang was before this fight, but apparently she was an Olympic boxer. They were saying, and so that presents a question. And I saw this kind of being debated a little bit, I think, after the Danielle Wolf fight. But here's a topic, question for everybody who's watching and all that too. But the female boxers who are crossing over, obviously we see it a lot more with women's boxers compared to men's boxers, who are at high levels.
Yeah,
the success rate, it hasn't been too great. Like you look at. I mean, there's really Amanda Serrano's probably been the best one, but you look at Heather Hardy, Anna Houlihan, who was the other one? Oh man, what's her name? The other Bellator one. I'm drawing a blank on her. Ava Knight.
Ava Knight, yeah.
Danielle Wolf, obviously, even though she got the win, people are questionable about. Well, I guess Holly does count technically. That's the real best one, but typically a lot of them, they don't look super good in the striking department. For what you would expect from the boxing world, but
it's different. It's a different game. I mean, it annoys the whole boxing versus MMA thing annoys me anyway. It annoys the shit out of me anyway. They're two different sports. It's like putting up football against soccer. Sure, they're running around and maybe kicking a ball or whatever, but they're two different sports. Boxing is totally different from MMA. That's why we don't see MMA fighters do well in boxing either.
Yeah, true. But I don't know. It's just I think the expectations are a lot higher too, and then it's because they disregard what you're saying there is how the differences are so drastic, the translation. That's also the thing is I think this might be why, is because you look at these boxers who come over and they kind of make the transition a little too quickly. They don't take a year or two to really hone their MMA, training and whatnot. They'll just be all right, let's do a couple months. I'm just getting into MMA. And then,
That's the thing about this whole Clarissa Shields and Amanda Nunes thing. Look, dude, in a fucking MMA fight, Amanda Nunes
massacre
hurts that girl. Clarissa Shields is the best female boxer. I mean, she's still super young. She's still young. She will go down as the best women's boxer ever if she isn't already, top 2 or 3 as it is right now. But she goes into MMA, she ain't even close to what Amanda Nunes is. She might be able to strike with Nunes a little. She might be able to strike with Nunes, but I mean, Amanda Nunes, as soon as she gets her to the ground, it's a wrap. Right? As soon as Amanda Nunes starts using those kicks and chops her down, it's a wrap. I mean, that's the thing. Boxing is boxing. It's stand-up fighting. You're fighting with your fists. That's it. That's literally it. Your brain and your fist. That's all there is. MMA, you have
a lot more to think about.
A lot more. It's like a utility belt. MMA is a utility belt, whereas boxing is a hammer.
Yeah, that's a pretty fucking good analogy, actually. Yeah, I like that. Very nice there. Yeah.
The boxing and MMA thing. Matter of fact, I got asked this question a couple days ago about boxing and MMA, like which one is harder to understand. MMA is harder to understand than boxing is. Look, as much as I love boxing and I boxed, all you're doing is fucking hitting people with your fists and using your brain and moving around in circles and maybe clinching and maybe doing some dirty work here and there. You're not in MMA, you're using a hell of a lot more. You're on the ground, you're kicking, you're striking with your fists, you're freaking using your knees, like there's your elbows, your shoulders, like you use your whole body in MMA. In boxing, you don't. You're using your fists and your brain. And for cardio, for your movement, you're using your legs. That's it.
Yeah, and I mean, even you can use your fists in different ways than just what you see in boxing. And about what I mean by that is spinning back fists. I mean, I think they allow hammer fist type strikes in boxing, do they? Or you just never see it. But there's even variation to that too, because I know that. I don't know if spinning back fists are allowed regularly, but I remember that was a talking point in fucking Floyd Conner. Like, you can't do that.
No, well, exactly. That's okay. Yes, Conor McGregor would beat Floyd Mayweather in an MMA fight. And look what happened when Conor McGregor boxed with Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather can go down as one of the best boxers ever. McGregor, sure, he hung with him for 8 rounds. Okay, he made it 8 rounds. Come on. If Floyd was in his prime, which he's not anymore, he's still very good, but he's not in his prime. If Floyd was in his prime, much like McGregor is right now, Floyd would put that boy on his ass. On his fucking ass by round 2 or 3.
I mean, he's probably still could have if he wanted to. If he wanted to in that fight.
I think if he really, really wanted to put Conor down, he probably could have. I mean, he obviously he ended up winning by technical knockout.
Yeah.
But that was also in the 8th round. I mean, man, that whole build up to that fight, like I remember getting so aggravated by the MMA people.
What a crazy time, dude. What
and the
a
boxing
wild
people.
time that was.
Like it was so fucking aggravating. Social media was so aggravating at that time.
Madness. That was
it was
pure madness.
It was crazy. I mean, props to Conor McGregor though for going in against one of the best boxers ever and lasting at least 8 rounds. I mean, shit. That's pretty fucking good for your first boxing fight ever.
Yeah. Yeah. As much as, we can all rag on him and whatnot. Yeah, definitely. Even though there's that argument, that Floyd did carry him, which is pretty safe to say. But yeah, so. All right, I wonder how much of the audience we will lose with the boxing chat, but that was my fault. Actually, I brought that. I started all of that. I started all of that.
A person who doesn't like boxing.
No,
brought up boxing. I love it.
Yep, look at that. But
I got to talk boxing a little bit.
Yep, a little bit there. Good insight, good analogies. It was all worth it. And a good Invicta 42 overall, I would say. I mean, not too many. I mean, only one finish, but it was a really good finish. That's something. And it'll be interesting to see what they do next with Alicia. Man, I would love to see her get back in the RIZIN ring, but um, we'll see how things look for New Year's Eve. In terms of travel restrictions opening and whatnot, things seems like things are loosening. Just to touch on that real quick, but we'll
Not
see.
in Europe.
Not in
UK,
Europe. No.
the UK screwed again, I guess, and their numbers are going shooting back up, I guess. Um, it's crazy, crazy, man.
Yep. So like I said, we'll see. And don't get anybody's hopes up, but it's hard not to think about. So on to what was a fucking awesome card as well. That UFC event, UFC Vegas 11, was very good. Take it away, buddy.
Such a good fight, or such a good card. So Mackenzie Dern ended up beating Brandon Marcos by a beautiful armbar. I mean, that's what Mackenzie Dern does. Like, this is pretty much what. Well, I mean, that's what I called. I called it. Maybe I didn't see it in the first round, but I saw it happening eventually. This was a really quick, good fight for Mackenzie Dern. She got out of this fight pretty much unscathed. Her armbar looked great. She's a jiu-jitsu black belt. She's amazing. She's amazing on the ground, and I would love to see her and Amanda Nunes go one day on the ground in a grappling competition.
Oh my goodness. This okay, I don't know if I want to say put ever at the end of this statement, but definitely in recent memory, this was the most frustrated I've been watching a fight play out. This was so frustrating because you know why. You know where I'm going with this. Everybody should know if they saw the fight was because after Mackenzie threw that head kick and fell on her ass like there was a banana underneath her.
Yeah.
Fucking Randa followed her to the ground,
Crazy.
and that was obviously I don't even need to say it.
That's a what the fuck moment.
But it's just like, man, I get it. And that was my fear. I was like, I knew it. I might have said it last week, but Randa, she's confident enough in her grappling abilities to be able to hang there. And of course, you want to be confident in your own abilities and whatnot against anybody, no matter where the fight goes. But the thing is, with certain people
Yeah.
who are so skilled at one area, like
Yeah.
Mackenzie Dern, obviously, you just need to swallow your pride and just accept that you're not going to win in this area no matter what. Just avoid it at all costs. And obviously maybe heat of the moment, you lose that, and that's what happened with her and she went into it. But I mean, we've seen multiple fighters against Mackenzie fall into this same pattern of trying to test themselves here when you just admit you've already lost in that area if that's where the fight goes. So just avoid it at all costs. Because, I mean, Randa landed some good shots in the time that, there was on the feet. But fuck, man, it drives me insane to see this same thing happen over and over again with, multiple people.
So going into the fight last week, we said Brandon Marcos had the edge striking. Obviously, Mackenzie Dern has the edge on the ground. Brandon obviously had to have known going into this fight that Mackenzie Dern is a motherfucking beast. Like, once they ended up to the ground, it was over very quickly. Very, very fast. And I was actually pretty scared that she was going to break Randa's arm with that armbar.
I mean,
like,
Randa was really hanging in there.
She was fighting it, and she was fighting it. Props to her for being a tough woman, but holy shit, why would you go to the ground with Mackenzie Dern? Step back and be like, get up. Get your ass up, and let's fucking fight on the feet until you can take me down. Because Mackenzie Dern doesn't have the best
That was the fucking thing.
takedown.
It's
she
horrible if we're
doesn't.
going to be honest. Her takedown ability is awful.
Right. She's not judo throwing girls. That she's not Kayla Harrison. She's not Ronda Rousey when it comes to getting people onto the ground. That's just not what it is. Once it gets to the ground, she's phenomenal. She's literally probably the best female MMA fighter on the ground. That's why I'm saying, like, man, I would love to see her and Amanda Nunes go, because Amanda Nunes, as good as she is, her ground game is so underrated because we don't see her fucking use it anymore. We did before, but we haven't seen her use it in a long time, like to finish fights and stuff. I would love to see Amanda Nunes and Mackenzie Dern go on the ground. I think it would be fun. Getting away from that, it's crazy. It's crazy that Randa Marcos went to the ground with Mackenzie Dern. Wild. Did not understand it, and I knew right away. I was like, okay, it's fucking over.
Yeah, man. It makes me so sad and frustrated.
I mean, yeah, you've become close with Randa too, so it's kind of like a for you, it's kind of like a personal thing for you.
But that's fighting for you. It's easier said than done. Got to be in that moment. Only she's the only one who realizes, the thought
Yeah,
process there. So
yeah, she's upset with herself about that. I mean, she probably went back and watched it, and she's probably pissed off at herself because what now she's lost four in a row.
no, no, two in a row.
Is it two?
Yeah. What is it? Because she's
Oh, she was trading off wins and
yeah,
losses.
yeah, yeah. So, and that's the thing too. Now I'm afraid that they're going to cut her because they have a reason
They're
to.
not going to cut her. They won't cut her. I mean, we see people losing like Hannah Cyphers. She lost three times this year. She still hasn't been cut.
Yeah, that's true. We'll see. I don't know. I just have a weird feeling like, okay, Randa finally lost twice in a row. Now we can say goodbye to her.
I don't think
She's
so.
getting
I, th-
older, lost in 3 minutes, 4 minutes almost. But
I think that she has enough a fan base.
in Canadian, a different market there.
People actually like her. So
Yeah.
so would
Is
you
that,
like?
is that a knock on Hannah Cyphers, bro?
I mean, no, people like Hannah Cyphers too.
Yeah.
People actually really like Hannah Cyphers because
But she's
she's
obviously not as popular as Randa, though, is what you're getting at.
yeah, no, she's not as
Yeah.
popular. So would you like to see Mackenzie Dern and Virna Jandiroba go?
Not next, but yes, I would love that. I would love that. And I say not next because, I think that we both agree Verna deserves somebody in the top 10, next. And that's not Mackenzie. Of course, though, that's fucking the best strawweight jiu-jitsu fight you could make right now for sure, unless I'm totally missing somebody, but they're the top two easily, right? So
Oh, for sure.
in
Oh
terms
yeah.
of BJJ players, yeah, that would be either an awesome, grappling exchange or, an, an interesting kickboxing match because that's how it goes sometimes with
I
the
would
with
hate
the
to see that.
grapplers.
That would upset me so much.
I know.
As a fan of grappling and stuff, I would
Yeah.
I would be upset seeing Mackenzie Dern and Rena Jandiroba striking. I would be pissed. I would probably throw a brick at my TV. I would be
Yeah.
so I would be so mad if they didn't go to the ground.
It would be interesting too to see if because Verna obviously is much better at getting opponents down, and if she would try to take it there first, in that matchup. But yeah, I don't want to think about that too much because I would be kind of surprised if they made it next. I mean, maybe not super
Well, they're
surprised,
both
but
14 and 15. Mackenzie Dern is 14.
oh
Jandiroba is
really?
15.
Yeah, we'll see, I guess.
They
But
actually flip flopped, which is fucking stupid. Like Why
Dern
would you?
shouldn't even have been ranked going into this fight. That was hilarious.
Yeah,
Um,
but the UFC loves Mackenzie Dern, so.
yes, they do. But welcome, Stamina, if you're just getting here, and if not, then I appreciate you, man.
All right, Stamina says they cut fighters they believe they have no use for. Marcos and Cyphers aren't fan favorites per se, but they show up to fight when asked, irrespective of time frame. In pandemic times, UFC needs that. Yeah, I mean that's why. That's exactly why Cyphers is around still. That's exactly why Cyphers is around still. I mean, we've talked about
For
this.
now,
We've talked about this. I think literally every week, where um, the UFC's using fighters that want to fight right now. And that's why we're seeing contender fighters getting fights 2 weeks later
yeah, that's a great point.
because
Great.
they want to fight, because they are down to fight.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, uh, that's another one that pissed me off. Watching Janet Roba and Dern striking could end up like watching Usman Covington striking. I hated it.
Rare exception.
It might just end up being a good watch. Like I hated it. I hated it. I wanted to see them go to the ground so bad. I wanted to see that wrestling from both of them. They talked about they talked about who the better wrestler is and all this shit. Show me the fucking better wrestler, goddammit. Show me who. We didn't see the better wrestler. We saw the better striker. We saw Usman's the better striker. He broke a motherfucker's jaw. We saw it. Show me the better wrestler. I want to see it. I still want to see it.
So, to everybody watching, whether it's now or after we're done live here, what you just saw from Steve is an actual MMA fan. Because no casual would ever say that. They would never say, what? Yeah, they were fucking throwing bombs the whole fight. I don't want to see that
Dude,
shit.
I was fucking pulling my hair out. I wanted to see so bad. I wanted to see them on the ground so bad, and we never saw it. We never
Nope.
fucking saw it. Not one time did we see them go to the ground, and I was so pissed off. I wanted to break my TV again. Like I wanted to break my TV. My TV is eventually gonna get it. My TV is probably thinking to itself, like, "Fuck, dude, this dude is crazy. He wants to break me all the time."
Man, I wish Dave was here. That's another good quote for my TV's gonna get it someday. Oh my god.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I
Sam
understand.
said, "Will it piss you off more if Gaethje Nurmagomedov is a stand-up battle too?" Yeah, like
Hmm.
man, we got to see that wrestling from them, right? Like we have to.
That would
But no,
be
I wouldn't. I wouldn't be that. I wouldn't be as mad because Gaethje is a really good striker. Like he's a phenomenal striker and he's awesome. Um,
that would be incredibly surprising
yeah, it would
to
be.
see Habib not try to take it down. If that happens, it would be a case where Gaethje actually defends and stuffs, takedowns and whatnot. Which who knows, that could happen. So, but in terms of going in and not even like really trying, like Covington and Usman, yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that,
So,
but that's the fight that I'm really looking forward to as well as Gaethje and Nurmagomedov. Man, that's gonna be fun. I hope that they go to the ground too. Hopefully, they go to the ground, and I think they will because that's how Habib ends his fights.
yep, yep.
Gaethje might not want to go to the ground, but he has that wrestling. He has that wrestling to where he might be able to hang with Habib. For once, we might actually see somebody fucking hang with Habib on the ground. Who knows? We might not. I mean, until he fucking loses, he's the motherfucking man. So
Yep, definitely. So, no worries about derailing Stamina. That's all on us. We're just
yeah,
shooting the shit here, man.
my
We're
mind
just
fucking
going
derails anyway. So
on with the the recap, though. Yes. So more submissions.
okay, so Myra Bueno Silva beat Mara Romero Barella by another armbar submission in the the second round? No, the first
First
round, right?
round.
First round. Within a couple minutes. 2 minutes and 29 seconds.
Okay, so this one was frustrating as well. Not as frustrating, but a little frustrating, a little sad. Um, and first of all, Romero Barella absolutely. You think she's got to get cut now? I mean, the four in a row, all absolutely terrible losses. But I mean, the thing that is frustrating about it is, man, she was looking sharp in her vintage self for as long as this fight landed until she played around in the guard for a little bit too long and got her arm snatched up. But she looked very good before that. Obviously, the fight wasn't very long, so it's like, well, is that really good? But she was on point for the minimal time that lasted. She just, I don't know, got too cozy in a spot without trying to transition to a better position like half guard or something. And we knew that Mayra Bueno Silva is dangerous in areas like that. But yeah, sucks that that's most likely. You think it would have to be the end for Barella? I mean,
It has to be, right. This is 4 in a row now.
Yep. And
Yeah,
she's what? That makes it 2-6, 2-6 overall in the UFC.
terrible.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's 2-6. That's a terrible record. Bad.
And
Very,
the,
very,
the four
very,
losses
very
are
bad
very bad.
UFC record. Very bad UFC record. And she loses in bad ways. It's time. It's time.
Yeah. It's unfortunate though because she did have some promise, and like I said, just I don't know, just got stuck there. Got stuck there. Got too cozy too
Yeah.
quickly, but came out sharp. So there's that.
Mayra Bueno Silva must be due for the scissors by now, or no?
Barella.
Or Mauro Romero Barella must be due for the scissors by now. There's not really anything left for her. I'm not confident there's anything she can pose a challenge to in the division now. Yeah, I mean she's done.
Unless like prospects like coming in, but that would seem kind of weird.
I mean, I just don't see I don't see how she doesn't get cut at this point. Like,
No, not off this losing streak. This is she should have been after the last one, which sucks, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
Finished in 3 of these fights. I think the 3 finishes were all first round, and then dominated by Montana for the 3 rounds in the other fight. So it's just like surprising that she got this final opportunity, but just wasn't couldn't get it done. Happens. So.
Yep, but it was a very good win for Silva, for Bueno Silva, though.
Yeah, good rebound.
Yeah, very good rebound, and I mean, she pretty much went unscathed, much like Mackenzie Dern.
Yeah. But you want to talk about scathed, then?
Man, Jessica Rose Clark beat the ever living shit out of Sarah Alpar. That poor girl, and she's getting married in a couple weeks. Man, what do you think about that? What was it? The knee?
Yeah, it was legal.
Yeah, because there was an inch in between
it was close.
Her butt and the mat.
It was close, but it was legal. But
what do you think about the referee, Tagnani or whatever his name is?
Yeah. This was the aftermath of that was the weirdest part. And then because they did utilize the replay right, and the rule is that you can't do that. Which, first of all, that's stupid, but that's the rule. Apparently, if you do the replay, then the fight's over. And then you make the decision based off whatever happened. So they did that, but then they continued on anyways, which not allowed. But then they made an excuse for it. I should have pulled it up for this episode to talk about it, but I didn't think about it. But their reasoning for it was even weird. I'm sure that you saw that, and I'm sure most people did, but it just didn't really make a lot of sense. They were saying something about it being a pause, I don't know. It was really weird. You'd have to look at it yourself, and maybe we can pull it up here. But, yeah, you should have stopped the fight right there. That was clearly the end of it.
She went on to give this poor girl even more of fucked up time in that cage. Like Jessica Rose Clark, she put it on her. This was a very much needed thing for Jessica Rose Clark, but nobody needs that to happen to them.
Yeah, that was super unnecessary.
When it could have ended. Yeah, super unnecessary. So it's not necessary, not super necessary, like Jorge Masvidal says.
Yeah.
It's super unnecessary. Just it was fucking ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous. Tognani is the colleague we all need because all the heat Herb Dean has taken in recent times is all but forgotten since old boy Chris stepped up and volunteered to run his own name through the mud. Fucking like, man, I put out a tweet saying Yamasaki, Herzog, Herzog, and
Herzog's good.
Or no, not Herzog. What the hell's his name?
Mazzagatti.
Mazzagatti. Yeah, are better than Tognani. Yamasaki and Mazzagatti are better than Tognani.
Hold on, we have an appearance from the woman herself. Miss Jessy Jess is in the chat.
Don't take the fight if you can't handle the heat. Yeah, I mean, holy shit. You put it on that girl, Jess. You put it on her. You fucking put it on that poor girl. Loved it though.
I mean, obviously, to be real, it is not Jessy Jess's fault at all, and I'm glad that I'm kind of surprised too that people were not.
Well,
just because people are stupid. I mean, obviously, it doesn't make sense to blame her at all. But
people also like Jessy Jess.
Yeah, of course not. I wonder if this is actually her though, because might not be.
She did. She did my very best.
Yes. Fuck the curse, by the way, and I'm sure. Are you aware of the curse, Steve? Because
I heard. I watched the 10 questions.
Right. Yes. So for those that don't know about my Jessica curse, which officially broken now, I think that is fair to say. So we'll do knock on wood there. But yeah. So the Jessica curse, for those that don't know, it started after I spoke to Jessica Penne. This was like last year, whenever that was. Spoke to Jessica Penne, then I spoke to Jessy Jess, and after I talked to both of them, they had 2 fights canceled. Like both of the fights that they had lined up, they got canceled due to, I think they were, well, Jessy had the weight thing, and then injuries. The rest were injuries, and I was like, holy shit, man, this timing is just not good. And then Jessica Andrade, I talked to her as well. She ended up winning the title, but then she got embarrassed by Whaley in like 40 seconds. So I was like, okay, I guess it's still kind of active. And then here we are again, and looks good so far, I would say.
Yeah. Well, Jessy Jess turned your curse around.
I mean, if there's any performance that proves it right there, I mean, insane, man. Bell to bell. I mean, damn. Yep, it was flawless victory for the most part, obviously.
Yeah, Jess, did you even get injured at all? Like, did you feel anything at all? I mean, you looked fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, Sarah Alpar, though, it's like, I don't think that this takes away too much from her. I mean, she got beat up very badly, obviously, but you look at,
dude, she got her ass whooped. It was literally a fucking like a street fight.
What I was getting at is her debut taking on, her most experienced opponent yet, I believe. I mean, obviously her most notable opponent in Jessy Jess. I wouldn't say they threw her to the wolves because, Jessy obviously was coming in off of 2 losses in a row, but I don't know. It was a tough fight for Alpar going in. We knew that, but I don't think she should be set back too badly here, despite being
she's gonna have setbacks in her face, though. Like, dude, she got fucking demolished.
Yeah. And Jessy's she hurt herself the most with those elbows.
Her elbows were fucked.
So
Nah,
which
it's better than your face.
yeah, finally got to use those elbows, Jesse. I know you've been wanting to do that for quite a good while, and I almost put the elbow picture here actually because that was a really good one, but I was like, you got to go with the knee because I think that this picture is the final knee. Obviously, it's not the first one. Um, so yeah, suggestion here from Stamina.
Alpar needs to trot on down to 125, like Dana advised on Contenders. I think she looked uncomfortable in her own skin there, so to speak. I mean, she was just unmatched.
Yeah, I mean the thing is that we knew that her main skill and main point of attack was going to be with her wrestling here. And Jesse just came out sharp as attack with the striking right away, which I don't know if she expected that. And I mean, I don't know if we all expected it to be that crisp. We knew that Jesse had the advantage in the striking from the get go, but yeah, I might have surprised Alpar how outclassed she kind of was in the striking, and just had to go for only the takedowns, kind of spam it a little bit, and that wasn't enough either because Jesse's ground game is underrated. People forget that because they haven't got to see it so much. But man, we saw all of her skills on display in this one, and excited for what is next. Excited for what is next for her. Which I don't know. You got any suggestions while she's here, Steve?
Who? No, not off the top of my head.
Should she fight Betch just because you want to see another beat down?
Give her a beating, please, Jess. Give Betch a beating, please.
Steve's not a Betch fan, Jesse. Just so you know.
Not a Betch fan. Whatsoever. Not. Please just fucking give her the beating like you gave Alpar. I would be forever grateful, forever indebted.
You're so mean.
It is what it is.
It's what it is.
She said I would die to fight Betch.
I mean, I remember that.
I would die for you to fight Betch. Like I would give my left testicle.
Jeez, man, that's some desperation there.
please just make me happy.
Oh man, we're relying on, who did she get matched with? I don't even remember. It's not Kim, right? No, it's Yan and Wu, right? So relying on Yan and Wu for the retirement party.
Yeah.
But
I don't think that she's retiring anyway. Like she probably wins that fight. She's a fucking. I've said it many times. She's a cockroach. She never goes away. She probably ends up winning that fight, and then maybe Jess can fucking put it on her.
You know what? Just before we transition here to our one piece of news for the week, I think that maybe Macy versus Jessy would be an awesome fight next.
Give it to her too, Jess.
I mean, what is Macy ranked right now? Do you give Jessy a top 15 person next?
Yeah, I would give Jess. Top 15. Macy is number 10. That's pretty high.
Number 10.
I didn't think that
really
she was so high.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't think that she was so high.
That's kind of crazy. Oh, and we should make bets right now to see how long that Lena Landsberg stays in the rankings now that she's pregnant. She'll be.
Wasn't it Jess that said that Lena Landsberg is pregnant? I didn't even know.
No, yeah, somebody suggested Lena versus Jessy next, which, yeah, that would have been cool too. But she announced she was pregnant like last night, or was it today? Either way. So yeah.
Oh boy. She said or Bea or Tracy Cortez. Oh,
yeah, winner of that one could be good.
Those fights would be fun too. Just make a bet, just so you can put it on. I mean, I really want to see that now. Now that we've talked about it, I really want to see Jess put it on a bet.
Once Nico comes back,
Jess, ooh, that would hurt my heart. Jess and Tracy Cortez, that's an incredibly marketable fight. Would the UFC do that? Would they want to put Cortez up against the beast that is Jess? I'm not sure.
I still don't understand the whole Tracy Cortez at bantamweight thing necessarily. So we'll see how the Bea fight goes. I would say,
Yeah,
but
Bea is going to be so much bigger than Tracy.
yeah,
She's going to be like bigger in all ways, right? Like, I mean, Tracy Cortez is only 5'5" or something, right? 5'4", while Bea Malecki's like 5'9" or 10 or something like that, and she has crazy arm length.
yeah, definitely outsized in all those departments. But
Stamina said marketable. That's code, right? Absolutely. I mean, they're both highly marketable fighters. That's what I I say that all the time. Marketable. When I say marketable, it means that they're highly marketable. They have the fans love them. Oh yeah, you're 5'5" too. That's right.
5'5" and jacked though.
Yeah, for real.
No offense to Tracy,
For real.
but she should. I don't understand. I feel like she's better fit for flyweight. But hey, I'm not one to judge somebody's,
Yeah.
where they should be fighting. So yeah.
No.
But yep. Now the show has turned into the Jessy Jess affection hour, which why not? But we got to keep rolling here. So moving on, but don't leave us just yet. All right.
Okay, so fight news. Sinead Kavanaugh is taking on Katarina Lehner. That was added to Bellator Milan. That's on October 3rd. That's a featherweight fight. Weirdly, this is going to be a prelim fight. I don't know why this is a prelim fight. I don't understand that whatsoever.
How do you know that? Did they straight up say it?
No, I saw no, I didn't see Bellator didn't put out the lineup. I saw that there were 4 fights on the main card, and the 4 fights were not this fight. But I mean that could change, obviously. I mean
Oh, right. I know what you're getting at.
Bellator doesn't exactly do their cards the way that that a fan would think that they should be done. So I don't know. Maybe Kavanaugh is on the main card. I don't know, but for now it's not. No, it's okay. So on that prelims live on YouTube, it says featherweight prelim bout. It says
Okay.
it says it right on. It says it right on the
Okay.
poster that you put up.
Oh, really? I'm not even paying attention to my own.
Featherweight
Oh,
prelim.
yeah, you're right.
Featherweight prelim bout, and it is a YouTube fight, and I think this is going to be their first CBS Sports Network card. I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
On the 3rd? Let's see. What does it say here? I guess it might not say for this one, but maybe. Well, what is the 3rd? Let me look at my calendar here. October 3rd. That's a Saturday, so. Now, for the CBS, I thought they were going to go big. Isn't the Cyborg one? That's the first.
I don't know. Is it?
I thought so.
Hmm.
I mean, that would make sense to do something like that for that card.
And the Cyborg fight is on a Thursday.
Yeah, which that's a weird thing in its own right.
But I think that Bellator is going to do fights on Thursdays, do fight cards on Thursdays now.
Yeah.
They shouldn't do it on Saturdays. They should not. The UFC is king of Saturdays. No MMA.
I like their events on Fridays,
Fridays are okay. No MMA card event should be matching up against the UFC. The UFC is the best promotion, the top promotion there is in MMA. Bellator, unless if it's a pay-per-view, and they don't do pay-per-views, unless if it's a crazy stack card, should not ever go up against a UFC card ever.
That's a pretty bold claim there, man. Because if you look at,
it's going to pull in the viewers, no matter what.
Yeah. I mean, that's true. I guess just thinking
you have to put up fucking Fedor, and you have to put up the two Pitbull brothers. You have to put up Musasi all on the same card.
Well, that's what I was getting at. Is if you look at historically the head-to-head shows, which I still have that archive. I went through all the fucking trouble of doing that the past 40 times that has happened in history. Recently, like the last couple of years, the Bellator cards, if you look at them on paper, they've probably been better, like more stacked cards than the UFC ones, which that's obviously by design. So I don't know. I mean, I get what you're saying. Obviously, like why try to do it? But if you're gonna go big, and then your chances are good, and we obviously see that people are interested in that. So
yeah, I mean, I just don't see why any MMA promotion would go up against the UFC. Doesn't matter.
Confidence,
Confidence
world
will,
domination.
yeah, confidence will fucking put you in the fucking hole.
So it's completely distracted us really from this fight, and the fact that Katharina Lenner is a part of Bellator now, which is kind of the bigger news, really.
Yeah.
You know, an Invicta veteran, was on the Ultimate Fighter 28 at featherweight, obviously back at featherweight now. Has lost 2 in a row to Sarah Kaufman and Lisa Versosa. No real shame in those, but I think she took a boxing match since then and won. I think she won it. But either way, yeah, this should be pretty fun fight. Sinead Kavanaugh is coming off of that win over Olga Rubin TKO in the second round, and I for some reason I missed that card, and I think it was because it was a tape delay one
It
in
was
like
tape delay.
Israel, which is why I missed it.
That's
So,
another thing about Bellator on CBS. We're not getting tape delays anymore. That's fucking massive.
yeah.
I mean, how any kind of sport would be on tape delay in 2020 with the technology that's out right now, how any sport would be on tape delay now in these times is fucking crazy to me. Mind-boggling.
Yeah, get with the times. What seems like
It's
they
about
are.
time.
But yeah, Sinead Kavanaugh, obviously a good win there, and I still think you can make the argument that she beat Leslie Smith in the fight before that. So, obviously a good one, close one, all that stuff. But should be. I think I kind of favor her in this one too. Leonard has not really shown to improve too much since her winning streak and running into Sarah Kaufman a bit too soon. Um, but yeah, it'll be fun. Featherweights
Yeah.
keep the division growing.
Yep. I love it.
So,
Love this fight. It's going to be a fight. It's going to be a really good fight. Okay, so Stamina said, oh, Jess left, by the way. Bye, Jess. Thanks for
she
hanging
just
out.
wanted to hear about herself. She
Crazy.
just wanted to hear the praise.
Wild. Wild.
Watch, she's still here actually.
Okay, so fellas, this is from Stamina. Fellas, do Bellator's fighters work within a ranking system at all? Because if they do, I have no fucking clue where to find such a thing. I think that they're coming out with a ranking system, right?
I don't know. I have not heard, but I can.
Yeah, I
can
heard
ask.
something that they are. I heard that they are. I mean, I can ask Danny Brenner at any time, I guess.
Yeah.
But I
Dave.
think they are
Yeah, we'll see.
coming out with one. Dave said her stock didn't take any kind of hit in the Smith fight, even rose, I'd say.
Yep, I agree with that. Definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
So, all right, now we have made it to the previews. We've made it.
Already?
Yep. I mean, we've been going for an hour. So we've actually drugged this out a lot longer than we thought. Because on our lineup, you guys, this is actually a very small show on our lineup. But
Yeah.
two fights to preview here, and the first one in the UFC.
My girl's back. Sajara Eubanks. She'll be taking on Dylan Vieira, though. That's a tough fight.
Very much so. Coming in as the late replacement because she fought 2 weeks ago. Man.
And she's
Trying
flying. She's in Abu Dhabi now. She was in Vegas, and now she's in Abu Dhabi.
Crazy. This is craziness.
Yeah.
but I'm here for it, man. This is an awesome matchup, and I love seeing
Fun.
her take the step into the opportunity that opened itself up when Renault had whatever happened to her. I don't know if that they said exactly, maybe injury or who knows if it's corona. But
She's gonna be
either
ready.
way, yeah, either way, Sajara stepping in here in what is a very interesting stylistic matchup. But yeah, no, I mean it's a great fight. Obviously, bigger opportunity for Sajara, because she's fighting up where Ketlin is fighting down in terms of the rankings and whatnot, and she's just been floating around the top in contention for a lot longer now. Where Sajara is finally starting to, get some of that momentum back that she had coming off of the Ultimate Fighter, where she really proved that had taken things up a notch. And man, this matchup is is a very interesting one, and I think because of the size difference, that might be the biggest thing. Because Ketlin Vieira, man, she's a good sized bantamweight, and you know, if she was to fight at featherweight someday, that wouldn't be too surprising. But very very good fit for bantamweight, and we've seen her power on display before. Her strength in grappling situations, she's very well rounded, but has her certain strength as well. Um, yeah, it's gonna be a fun one, man. I don't really, I don't know. I think they'll probably slug it out when the opportunity presents itself. Maybe not as crazily as a Vila versus Eubanks,
It can't be
but
that firefight that we saw.
yeah, no, I don't think that Ketlin would is gonna be aggressive like that.
She's
Of course,
she's smart. She's such a smart fighter.
yeah,
Not saying
and
that. Not. I'm not saying that Avila isn't a smart fighter. That's just her style of fight.
yeah,
Whereas Ketlin, it's not.
yeah, and people kind of forget because of the knockout that she was on the receiving end of against Aldana, but she was doing just fine striking with Aldana for those first like 4 minutes of that fight, which shows that she is just getting better and better in all areas. Where people would say that her grappling is probably her strength, as we saw on display against like Casingano, for example, and the other people that she has beaten on her way up. I mean, submitted Sarah McMahon, like no joke, Ketlin Vieira, and people still don't recognize how good she really is. Um, so it's hard. It's hard for me not to favor her here in this one, just because obviously she had. I mean, she didn't have a fight too recently. I mean, it's crazy. The craziest thing about Sajara probably getting into this spot is that she went a full 3 rounds against a tough Julia Avila who brought a fight to her. Like she
Crazy.
didn't go in there and just submit somebody real quick without getting hit. She took some damage in the fight. But obviously not bad enough to prevent her from getting here in the first place. I just, yeah, I think that the freshness in favor of Vieira and, her size will be probably the biggest things, because other than that, they're pretty evenly matched in terms of skill set. But obviously, we've seen Vieira do things at a lot higher level at bantamweight than Eubanks too, which I think is also a reason to lean in her favor.
Yeah.
But Sarge, I mean, she seems definitely a little bit rejuvenated and motivated to finally start making some big waves at bantamweight, obviously as seen by her recent performances. So it's going to be awesome. But I don't know, I've been so high on Vieira ever since she got to the UFC.
Yeah.
And the loss to Aldana, I mean, a bad one visually, but like not a bad one to get knocked out by Aldana because it's Aldana. So and she'll want to definitely erase that from people's minds too. So gonna be good. But yeah, I gotta go with Vieira. I'm gonna say it'll be a fun 3 rounder because Sarge is fucking durable as fuck. So I think that she'll
Durable
probably
as fuck.
probably be able to survive unless Vieira like really outmuscles her and wears her down over time, which I don't know if I can see it being that kind of fight. But because of that, I think Sarge will be able to survive. And so we'll see a Ketlin unanimous decision.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is going to be a tough fight for both girls. Eubanks doesn't back down. She wants a fight. She's in there for a scrap, either standing up or on the ground, like what we saw against against Avila. She took it to the ground and she looked great. Um, will she be able to take Vera down? It's gonna be tougher because Ketlin's a big girl compared to Sarge, but Sarge is incredibly strong, and she's got that jujitsu down. She's very good at on the ground. So, I mean, I think I'm picking. I'll pick Sajara.
For the upset.
Yeah, I'll pick Sajara. I've I've always I've just always liked her, her style of fight. I like her attitude. I've talked about that many. Whenever I talk about her, I talk about her attitude. I I dig her attitude. I love it. I fucking love her straight up attitude. It's it it's one of those things that gets me to like fighters. I don't like fake. Sajara ain't fake.
Yeah.
But talking about the fight, oh, man, it's really tough to pick these two to pick this fight from these two. I'll go Sajara because she has the momentum. MMA is a lot about skill, but it's a lot about momentum as well. Sajara has the momentum right now. I'm going Sajara, unanimous decision. I don't see her. I don't see her finishing Ketlin.
Yeah, I know it'd be kind of surprising if we see a finish from either person in this fight. I mean, it would be very impressive either way.
Yeah,
Because of how tough that they both are
yeah.
and their submission abilities. I mean, Ketlin's a very good grappler as well. I don't know. I don't know if she's a black belt. I feel like she is. I
I'm
can
not sure.
probably look at that real quick, but obviously very talented on the ground as
Yeah,
well.
I mean, she's good. She's good on the ground. This is another one where if they went to the ground, it would probably be a lot of fun. There would be
Yeah.
scrambles and
Okay. Yeah. She's black belt in judo and BJJ. Right. I thought so.
okay,
So yeah, fucking got skills for days, that woman. But
yeah, she's got hands too.
I'm just excited she's back because fucking was gonna fight Yana like a month and a half ago.
That would
So
have been a
I'm just
really fun
excited.
fight. This actually might be a better fight.
Yeah, stylistically, this should be a lot more action packed, I think, which is
Yeah.
awesome. So, all right, split on one of two, and then I know for a fact that we're agreeing on the next one. So that is UFC 253, fellas, um, and or ladies who are watching. Um, yeah, only one fight this week, surprisingly, from the UFC, as we've had a lot in the past
Yeah. What do we have
couple.
last week? 4 or 3? 4,
Last week
3.
was three on the UFC
Yeah.
card. Yep, yep. So, all right.
All right. So RIZIN 24. Rena is back. She'll be taking on Emi Tomimatsu. We talked about this just last week because this is when they made the announcement that Rena would be back. Um, uh, I mean, I just don't see Rena losing this fight. Uh, as you can see on the tweet over there on the screen, striker versus grappler. Yeah, Tomomatsu will need to take this fight to the ground to have a chance at picking up a win against the elite striker. Rena has faced several grapplers in her MMA run, so she definitely has the advantage in this fight. Will Tomomatsu be able to leave a mark? Nope. Thank you for asking the question, Ryzen, though.
Yeah, thanks for the question. Yeah, man, it's like obviously, Emmy is a little bit of a pioneer in terms of, the Japanese female fighters in the lighter weight classes, of course.
Yeah.
And yeah, the most experienced opponent that Rena has ever fought, as we touched on last week and everything. Very solid, well-rounded fighter, like has, decent striking and all that, but there's levels to that. And she's, 38 now. And definitely in the twilight of her career has had all these miles on her and everything. Very durable, but very hittable, which, surprisingly, she's never lost via TKO or KO. I
Right.
was gonna say if she's been finished at all. I'm not sure. I think she's been submitted like maybe once, but she's pretty hard to finish historically. But I mean, fuck, dude. I was doing some study and like rewatching some Reina highlights and fights earlier today. Actually, I was like, man, I kind of fucking forgot how stellar of a striker she is, dude. Like, man, it's so beautiful to watch her when she's on, dude. There's like, It's good. It's good. Like people, we got to put some respect on Reina's name when we're talking about some of the
Yeah.
best female strikers, right now. I was don't want to say ever maybe, but she's fucking phenomenal, man. Um,
When
and
she's
yeah,
when she's letting him go, very very tough to match up with.
yeah.
I really like this fight though. Um, I think that
Well,
I think I think that Rena should be able to win. Um, hopefully, she lets her striking out and let it go. She needs to build her confidence back up to the Rena that we are so used to seeing, because we haven't seen, like, she's looked okay and she's gotten some wins, but we haven't, from a couple years ago, the Rena from a couple years ago.
yeah. I mean, 2019 was kind of a weird one, especially with leaving the atomweight division and all that has happened since then. Um, but yeah, she had the what, like 10-second knockout over that one Brazilian girl who they just kind of threw to her on last second. Somebody fell. I don't remember who her opponent was supposed to be, but then crushed that poor fighter really quickly. And then the Lindsey Van Zant rematch, that was a very good win for her, but it wasn't a vintage Reina striking clinic. She had to
It
out
wasn't.
grapple and
But Lindsey
dominate
Van
Lindsey a
Zant
bit on the
is
ground.
tough. Lindsey
Yeah,
Van Zant's tough, so
yeah,
she got her loss back.
yeah. Definitely good redemption in that one. And just a good, well rounded, overall performance from Reina. And the late stoppage there when the coaches threw in the towel after the beatdown. Um, so yeah, in this one, I think that we're definitely going to see Rena defending some takedowns early
Yeah.
on, and just Emmy really doesn't stand much of a chance at all in the striking department.
Mhm.
If she can get crafty and kind of, pull something out where she gets an advantageous position on the ground against Reyna, then it gets pretty interesting. But even then, I think Reyna's defense is good enough not to get submitted by Emmy. But she has all that experience, and she's very seasoned that she could find something, sneak something on Reyna. But I still think she'll be fine here. I guess the size could kind of be something to talk about too, because this is a strawweight fight. The first time that Reyna's actually at strawweight. I'm not sure. I'm like, we don't have the dimensions here of like their height. Oh, so Reyna's a little bit tall. Okay, Emmy's actually a lot small. I thought that she
5'3" and 5'1".
primarily, yeah, primarily did fight at atom weight for most of her career. Gone back and forth. So okay, well in that case, I have much more confidence in her. So um, and much more confidence in her being able to defend any submission threats and grappling exchanges like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, Reina is gonna. I think it's gonna be a systematic breakdown. I think that Emmy will be durable and tough enough to probably survive to the second round, but she's getting finished in the second for sure.
There has to be a
Body
finish.
shot maybe. We'll see.
There has to be a Rena finish. Like, it's needed. She needs to say, "Look, I'm back. I know I lost a couple over since 2017. I lost to, who did she lose to? Kana Asakura a
Yep.
couple times,
Yep.
and then that Lindsey Van Zant loss. But now she'll be on a 2-fight win streak, or no, 3-fight win streak.
Yeah. If she wins this one,
If
yeah.
she wins this one, which she probably will, she'll be on a 3-fight win streak. This will be like, look, dude. Okay, I had a setback a couple years ago. We're in 2020 now. We're going into 2021. I'm back, and she's still only 29 years old, which is crazy.
Yeah, for all of her overall fight experience and like shoot box and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Her shoot box, man. She had so many fights in shoot box.
Mm-hmm. Shoot box queen.
Yep.
So yeah, you
Amazing.
going first round or second round?
I just don't see. Yeah, yeah. I'm going first round. First round, ran and knockout. It's got to happen. It has to happen.
Yeah, especially if she finds the groove early and she'll fucking pour it on. So I'm believing more in Emmy's durability for my pick of second round, but I
Yeah.
won't at all be surprised if it is first round. And that's a good name to have on your resume. So
Yeah, it is. And maybe she'll get another shot at Kana Asakura. Oh, a third shot at Kana Asakura if she wins this fight.
I feel like we still need some more time between
We've had
the
time.
rematch, the more time between the rematch, because the rematch was obviously a better fight than the first fight, because it was just a 1 round fight, and
It's been 2 years.
kind of got that massive upset. But I don't know, man. I want a good build to it, a good build to that potential trilogy fight, which I'm sure that we'll get.
Going
Though it'd
in
be a big deal.
2021, it's going to be 3 years.
Since the rematch, really?
Yeah, didn't that happen in 2017, 2018? Hold on, I'll pull it up really quick.
Ryzen 11. Let's see if I can beat you here. Ryzen 11 was
Kana Asakura, 2018, July
Okay.
29, 2018. The first fight was obviously on the New Year's 2017.
Okay, fine. If we're gonna go by how it's banned,
It's been a long
maybe.
time. All I'm saying is it's been a long time since we've seen Rena and Kana Asakura. I know it's like fresh in our minds still because first of all, it shouldn't have happened, right?
Yeah,
It shouldn't have happened, but it did. But also, Kana Asakura actually showed who the fuck she is too.
exactly. She. It was not a fluke. Yeah,
Right.
not a fluke at all.
Yeah. So Kana actually won the first fight. You know, obviously Kana won both fights, but Kana got a sleeper choke. They're calling it a sleeper choke here on
Rear naked.
Tapology. It was a RNC, right? Um, and then the second fight went to decision, but it looked Kana Sakura. She she looked phenomenal.
Yeah, and I mean Reina. She obviously did a lot better, but it was just like Kana was a step ahead still.
Mm-hmm.
It was like more of a chess match. It was a really fun one. If you guys have not seen that fucking rivalry,
Both fights,
Um,
both fights,
the first fight, still, dude, the reaction on that upset, the whole atmosphere is one of my
crazy, wild.
favorite fight endings. Like just how that all played out, because man, it just everybody was so surprised. And just check that out if you guys have not seen the first Rena versus Kana Sakura fight.
Man, that was from RIZIN. That was from RIZIN Fighting World Grand Prix 2017.
Has to be on their YouTube channel.
Yeah, that was the New Year's card. That was their Grand Prix
That
card.
was the finals, right, of the tournament. I'm
Yeah,
pretty
that was
sure, which is what made it even crazier too. Like, damn.
yeah, that was the final of the tournament. Tournament championship. Kana Asakura. Yep, for the 108 belt.
Nutty, nutty stuff.
Crazy. That was the one where Horiguchi knocked out Ishii
Oh,
Watari. That was so fun. God, that was such a fun. That was such a fun fight card. And Crow Cop was on there. He ended up winning because of punches. There was the women's tournament. Oscar Arena. Tension. Tension was on there. He ended up winning by a flying knee. So much fun. Oh, what happened? Did we lose each other? I think Drake disappeared. So yeah, if you haven't checked out that RIZIN World Grand Prix from 2017, the final round, that was their New Year's card. Definitely check that out. Definitely check that out. It was fun. It was a ton of fun. I just went down. I just kind of went down the list. Kyoji Horiguchi was on there. Kana Sakura ended up winning. Tension was on there. Crow Cop got his one of his last wins, We haven't seen Crow Cop since he fought in 2018 and then again in 2019. But that was one of his better wins, actually. So if you guys haven't checked that out, do so. It's a lot of fun. So do you guys have any questions for me about anything coming up? Do you guys want to talk about how badass Amanda Nunes is? I'm always down to talk about Amanda Nunes. I love that girl. How cool was it getting Jessica Rose Clark on here? That was a lot of fun. Pretty cool that she jumped in. She jumped in right on time. I think she was lurking, and then all of a sudden she was like, "Hey guys, I'm here to talk about myself," which is totally fine because she deserves it. She's awesome. Jess is an awesome chick, awesome fighter. It's cool seeing her win. Amazing that she has really turned into a really, really good fighter. She's had her ups and downs. She's had fight camp changes, but she's back, and it seems like she is rolling. And welcome back, Drake.
Did it stay up without me?
Yeah.
Okay. My fucking internet went out, dude.
They all said bye, Drake. Everybody was like, bye, Drake. Fuck it, it's the Steve show. It's the Steve show now, bitch.
It's the Steve show. Yep. Who needs me, you guys? All right. What did I miss? I mean, that was the end, anyways.
Nothing,
I was like,
nothing. I was talking about the RIZIN card. I was saying how good it was, that RIZIN World Grand Prix from 2017.
Oh yeah.
How great it was. Horiguchi was on there. Tension was on there. Kana Asakura, Reina. The Crow Cop, fucking Crow Cop. Man, it was so good. So good.
Yeah.
And then I gave Jessy Jess her props, of course. I
did not expect that at all for her to show up today.
That was dope. I mean, like I was saying before you came on, she I think she was lurking. She was probably waiting for us to talk about her, and then she was like, "Hey guys, I'm here."
Don't take the fight if you can't handle the heat. Perfect way to come in. Hilarious.
It's true.
What a stalker. True. How dare she stalk me like that? Just making sure we address the curse, right? Hilarious.
Okay, so Dave said, has anything more been said about Amanda Nunes fighting Megan Anderson? Yeah, it's official. What? Dave, where have you been? It's official.
It's happening. It's happening.
For
well,
UFC.
I don't know if they've actually put a thing out yet, have they?
I mean,
obviously
we're talking about it.
Yeah. But
Megan has confirmed it herself. Like, what more do we need?
Yeah, and I'm sure that Amanda has said something too. That
yeah, I don't know if she has actually.
Yeah. So I'm looking back here actually at the chat, which is interesting, and I kind of missed that Stamina and Jessy talking to each other about when we were talking about Alpar. When he mentioned needs to go down to 125, and Jessy said she had a hard cut to 135.
Oh, Alpar did, right?
Yeah. So, and I mean, yeah, she looked, not in the best of shape, but I mean, I don't know, she could probably make the cut with some dieting and discipline and whatnot. So
she just didn't look good, like in general.
I mean, yeah, that was that, and preparing for the not the wedding. Yeah, not the weight cut.
Yeah, maybe her mind was on the wedding.
I mean, geez, that's not an easy.
Why would you take a fight 2 weeks out from wedding, knowing that you're going in to a cage and fighting somebody?
That confidence, man.
Couldn't be me.
Yep. But All right, let's wrap it up. We actually drug this out longer than we thought we would, like I said. So I think we did a good job, man. I think we did a good job.
It helped that Jessy Jess came on. We talked about her a
Yeah,
little bit, talked with her a little bit.
yeah. I know. I was thinking about probably hit her up to try and get another conversation in for my channel here.
She needs to fucking come on MMA Inc., bro. Like,
But
come
yeah,
on.
that was a great person for that. That might be your longest episode, but it's
I was, dude, I had Megan Anderson, and then she stopped fucking responding to emails.
that would have been a good one too.
That would have been my longest episode because I would have had her pull up her fucking ink and shit, and I would have been like all up on that shit like this.
What was it? You had Peter Barrett, right? He had a lot more than I realized.
Yeah, Peter Barrett, he's fun. He's a fun character. He's a character. That
Yeah,
dude is fun.
funny guy.
Like that guy.
And Chris Lieben, that was obviously a good one too. Lots of tattoos.
Chris Lieben was dope, dude.
Yeah,
He was fun.
So, yeah, I mean, speaking of MMA Inc., we could segue perfectly. Any coming up? Anything you got?
Yeah,
going
dude. So I have two coming up. They didn't happen this past week, but they're gonna happen this week. They are happening this week. Be on the lookout for MMA Inc. If you do not already subscribe to my channel on YouTube, it's called MMA Inc. Literally MMA Inc. INK because of tattoos. That's what I talk about with fighters. I talk about their tattoos. They tell me the stories. We kind of talk about other things a little bit here and there, but it's mostly about tattoos. I really need to get this thing going. I really need fighters to agree with me and actually come on, because I've had fighters and drop out like last second, and man, it's killing me.
Well, it'll work out. What about me? Well, I don't know who all is paying attention or whatnot, but my other show, my brand new show, Broaden Horizon, episode 2, just dropped today, directly in the morning. Broaden Horizon, episode 2. I had Rena on. She was my second guest of the evening.
Rena and her doggies.
Rena and her 4 puppy dogs, crazy dogs. You should check out the episode just to see them running around, being crazy, playing with each other in the background. It was pretty hilarious. She was like telling them to be quiet the whole time, and I'm like, they're gonna make noise, But so Broaden Horizon episode 2, check that out. Rena was on. I spoke to the boss man himself, Nobuyuki Sakigabara, intimidating guy but very chill. And then Taksuke Kume and Yusuke Yauchi, who he's a fucking goofball too, really fun guy to talk to, good character. So yeah, check that episode out. It is out now, mymanews.com. You can listen to audio only on the Loudmouth MA Podcast Network, SoundCloud, all that stuff, whatever you need. And yeah, as for upcoming things, I guess that's kind of the only one out there right now besides things that are being worked on. And still Becoming Mega Megu, the Megumi Fuji story, still available for your reading, pleasure, intake, whatever you want to call it. You can find that all at Drake Riggs _ on Twitter, Instagram, whatnot. I'm posting all about it all the time. So appreciate the support, you guys, and everybody tuning in as always. Yeah,
for sure. Thank you for coming on. Thank you, Jessy Jess, for coming on and talking about yourself. Stamina, thank you for hanging out. Dave, thank you for hanging out. Drake, it was a pleasure, as always. We got the Saints coming up on Sunday, buddy boy.
Let's get that 3-0.
Packers 3-0. Yeah. Later, Stamina. Thank you.
All right, guys. Until next time.
Peace.
Peace.